This is the Pondra Show. My name is Ronald Okwara. Today we've got a very special guest in the studio. She is a mentor and a community influencer. She is involved in a lot of community projects. Some of them, we will talk about them today. She is a host of a very interesting podcast, and the name is called The Voices of South Sudanese Women, which can be found on both YouTube and Facebook.
Yeah.
She is a family friend and a business partner. Nyiyen Pur Nienkel, aka Lizzie. Welcome back to the show. Do people call you Nyiyen or Lizzie?
I get called both names actually.
Right. Which one do you like the most? I will call you Nyiyen even if you don't like it.
I think Nyiyen is a lot better.
Yeah, you used to be calling Nyiyen.
Nyiyen.
Lizzie, with some of the friends you grew up with?
Yeah, the friends I grew up with.
Is it Elizabeth?
It's Elizabeth, and the short terminology for it is Liz or Lizzie. But I really don't mind either Lizzie or Nyiyen. I'm happy with anything.
You know, I only have just the one name, Ronald.
Ronald, that's it. Yeah. You're lucky. Or Ron.
They should have given me a traditional name.
So you were born with just Ronald?
Just Ronald.
That's it.
That's it.
Wow, you're lucky.
No, I'm not lucky. I'm lucky when I'm writing something quick.
Yeah.
I don't have to write the second name.
That's a pretty...
Welcome back for the second time.
Thank you.
On the Pondra Show.
Thank you.
Last time you were here, exactly last year.
It was. Same time last year. And we even did an interview, I remember. Same place, same location before I started my platform. So I was really happy to come back after a year and just talk about how the platform has been going and everything. So it feels good to be back.
You were starting, the platform was
and
starting.
I was so nervous in that interview that you
smiling
did.
And singing.
I was shaking.
But anyway, it's good to have you here.
Thank you.
How are you?
I am well, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I'm doing really well. I'm looking after myself, so... Yeah, I can't complain.
We always chat all the time because obviously I'm part of your production team on your podcast.
Yeah.
And man, do you feel like the studio looks different? Because the last time I saw you, what a distracted what got into the studio?
You know, when I first walked in, the first word was wow. Like we have so much space.
What
you can tell that
you
put so much time into
you feel free.
Making it look. I feel free.
Yeah.
I feel like I can breathe and just
At
be
that time
myself.
It was compacted too
We
much.
had so many things in here.
Everything going on.
And a month later, I walk in and I'm like, wow. So this is what Ronald's been getting up to. You did a great job.
Yeah,
you did.
Man.
Yeah.
We want to talk about your podcast as well. It's doing well.
It is.
Especially if you see someone going into season 2. You're on season 2,
finally.
episode 2.
That's it. And I think it's absolutely amazing.
How is it progressing from when it started until now?
It's progressing really well. At the start, it was a slow pace, but I eventually got there, and I feel like I've done a lot of episodes within a year, and the consistency and the passion that I have for it, it's something that is just really overwhelming. And
you built a lot of network.
I built a lot of people, and connections. Yeah,
wow.
And I've actually had the opportunity to step out of my comfort zone and go to these many events that we'll talk about shortly. Yeah.
How about the confidence in front of the camera?
Once again, when we first started this, wow, I was so scared of the cameras. I was scared of the lights. Everything was just so overwhelming. But hey, a year into it, wow, the confidence has boosted so much, which is good.
Let's talk about the topics you'll be addressing on your platform.
Of course.
Yeah.
So when I first started to come up with this podcast and platform, I thought it would be a great idea to just step out of my comfort zone and talk about the many issues that happen within our South Sudanese community that a lot of people do not talk about. So in regards to your question, I've had the chance to really talk about mental health issues, drug and alcohol problems within my South Sudanese community, and a lot of things, parenting, supporting young multicultural youth, men and women behind bars in prisons. So to be able to talk about those things, I felt like it was sort of a healing phase for us to go through as a community.
How to access jobs? You still remember that?
And job,
that bit? Yeah.
yes, I had one of the boys come into the studio to talk about what they do, the types of services and supports they provide.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do you have any episode so far that you felt good? I mean, like with the topic or with a certain guest, or all of them are your babies?
All of them are like my babies, to be honest. I love all the episodes because we do put a lot of time into thinking about which topics and discussions are mostly important to talk about. But apart from that, I think one of the episodes that I enjoyed the most, because I watch each episode like 10 times after, was the one we did about spirituality, because it is important for us to get to know ourselves individually on a personal level.
Why spirituality? Are you a spiritual person yourself?
I would say I'm a spiritual person, absolutely. And yeah, it's an everlasting journey.
Is it something that you grew up with, or is something that you picked up along, your life experiences and stuff?
Within our cultures, a lot of us are into church, especially our Sudanese culture.
Okay.
A lot of us are raised within a church. So my mum really raised us into knowing God and knowing who we are as person.
I should meet the beautiful lady.
You should. Oh, she's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, like when you're doing your podcast, if you had any guests that were that disappointed you, I mean, like on your platform, you go like, I don't know, what's going on?
We do get challenges like that, don't we? Each episode, I'm very nervous because I'm not quite sure how things will work out. Yeah. But I've taken the time to be patient with people, and I've come a long way with that being said. But there is some disappointments here and there.
What type of disappointments? People don't show up on time?
Well, I'm going to be purely honest with you. Some disappointments is like one of the ones that I actually went through was the fact that we had a topic of discussion. Some people were really, the people that I invited knew exactly what to say, what the topic was about. And what makes it difficult is that one person that doesn't quite
merge with everyone.
And I find it a bit challenging, but
so, because some people naturally won't just want to be different,
of course, and everyone is unique in their own ways. So
do you have a golden guest that you would want to be on your platform but you haven't got your hands through? Who and why?
In all honesty, I do. There's this.
Is it one or a couple of them?
Oh, there might be two of them. So on my next episode, I'm hoping to have someone that's really important within our community come into the studio and just talk about our culture in general.
All right.
Talk about their perspective of some of the issues that are currently occurring within our South Sudanese community. The other person that I would be looking forward to hearing their perspective would be from one of the leaders within our community. I haven't had the chance to give them a call and just ask them to come and share their perspective and see what not only me can do, but others within the community do to help them as community leaders. So I'm hoping the next couple of episodes I can have a chance to invite them in.
Can't wait.
Should be interesting.
Look, they tell me the simplest questions are the hardest to answer. Are you happy with the way the platform is, the podcast is?
In all honesty, I am really happy with the way things are going because I'm that type of person which has allowed myself to learn also from the guests that come into the studio. So like taking the time to just listen to their stories and how far they've come and how much they've overcome, all the challenges they've overcome is something that really makes me happy. So.
Beautiful. And look, I will tell you something that I've noticed through the time.
Yeah.
You make it a point to look very different. Every episode, hairstyle, makeup, outfits. Surely you must have a stylist, or this is all Nyiyen.
You know what?
Or
I had a feeling you're going to ask that,
Wow,
because you know what I've realized?
Yeah.
Since I've started this platform, each episode, I have a different hairstyle.
You do?
Like,
amazing.
I think to me it just comes
Outfits
naturally.
and all that. Okay.
It's very natural.
How long does it take you to prepare? Or?
Like, if I know that we're shooting at 7 p.m., I'd probably get ready 2 hours beforehand.
Wow.
I love time management is really
2 hours
important.
is a life time for everyone.
Oh, it is. And it takes me 2 hours just to, I'm an overthinker. So even choosing what I want to wear,
wow,
it's a whole different story. It takes me quite a while. Might try this on and not like it, look in the mirror and be like, nah, we'll go with another one. But yeah, it's just natural, very natural.
Must have a huge wardrobe.
Like, pretty huge.
Yeah.
I need to chuck a couple of stuff out. I really do.
It's lovely to have you here, man, and I've got heaps of questions. Look, we want to talk about events and other projects. With the easing of COVID-19 restrictions, I've seen that you are getting involved in a number of community events and projects. Can you briefly tell us about each of them, and also how and why you got to be part of them?
Absolutely. So with COVID and everything, as we are all aware, all of us were very restricted.
Yeah, very much.
So it became really difficult for us to be able to actually go out and enjoy ourselves, especially as a community.
Interaction,
and it's so important to interact with others and to be social as well. So the reason why I got involved with all these activities was because I felt it was the perfect opportunity to actually be a part of the community and help, because contribute because the word community itself is so powerful that when you think of the word community, you think of individuals who come together to uplift, empower and encourage one another and support each other's dreams and achievements as well.
If you remember, last time you came, last year, I even asked you what was the word community, the definition from it, and you are reiterating it.
Absolutely.
Even today.
Yeah, I am, because it's so important to know what community is, and we all belong into a community, no matter who you are or what background that you're from. So after COVID, a lot of people actually came out with so much good things. Ideas. A lot of people spent time during that 2 years coming up with crazy ideas, things that the community really needed. So a couple examples of the events that we've initiated since we've come out of lockdown would be there's an organization called CMY. So CMY is really out there doing such a great job to make sure that the South Sudanese community is supported and is able to access a lot of supports and services out there. So the first one they came up with was My Sister's Keeper. And what
is it about?
Yeah, My Sister's Keeper is a program for young Sudanese girls, and this was first initiated in February.
Wow.
So we've come up with physical activities, one-on-one mentorship, and also interactive workshops. So young girls are able to come in and just be themselves and enjoy themselves by being included in these activities.
Exactly.
The other one was a game that was initiated by CMY.
All right.
So the game is called The Streets of My Town, and from the feedback that I've received so far, a lot of young people are enjoying the game, and the reason for that.
What is it about?
So it's the game is to learn about the streets of your town, and it actually keeps your mind.
So you know where to get a job.
Yep. So you know exactly where. How to go about. And what I love, community access, and what I love the most is that the narrative of it is of young. So the skin color of the game is of a African appearance, which is so beautiful. They've also come up with parenting skills, such as providing training sessions, helping parents within my community to write resumes and cover letters so that they may be able to go out there and look for a job with all the confidence they could have within themselves. So I feel like with those activities that CMY has already initiated, it's helping the community in a big way, and it's assisting a lot of people that might not know where to go about and where to get the type of
accessing
supports.
resources is a very difficult thing.
It is.
When I was doing a course, I did community welfare, diploma in community welfare. We were actually taught how to access resources.
Yeah.
You know what? It looks easy,
but it's
difficult.
It's
when
so
you start
difficult.
doing the subject itself, like, but it's difficult. It can be daunting.
It is daunting
for people who don't know how to access and I like that that CMY has got those projects going on.
Yeah, especially with the new technology that we're working on. It is difficult for you to navigate your way around the social media, even to look for a job online now. It's not the old way that we used to do it, where you could just hand in your resume.
Yeah,
everything is on the internet. You see a job, you apply for it. So it is it's difficult. But CMY has made it easy for the community to actually be able to access that type of resource and supports and services, which is good.
Beautiful.
So just a couple more that we have. Kush Empire. So James Loak, I think you've met James.
Oh, James came to the studio the other day. Yeah, I need to invite him again.
Yeah. So he's done a
very
really good job.
Very organized, well dressed young man.
He's always on point. James came up with the idea to open up an entertainment center for the South Sudanese community to be able to hold like weddings, baby showers, business meetings.
Without stereotyping.
Sometimes
if you look for these venues, they'll go like, how many are you?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Well, we don't want to lie. It's a platform for truth anyway.
All we talk about is the honest truth here. So I think it was a good idea that James actually, gave us that opportunity as a community.
So what is it called?
It's called Kush Empire.
What is it
Entertainment. So it's an entertainment center where we could actually go and hold events such as baby showers, weddings, birthday parties, marriage, business meetings.
Because the traditional weddings.
Our traditional girl talks when it comes to dowries. So it's actually really good. And I'm glad as a community.
Getting someone broke. I'll joke.
I love that. That's for sure. Good.
Yeah.
So the last one. I've got two more to go. Just this weekend, I had the opportunity to go to an event, which is the Rise of South Sudan, Ross.
Oh, that one. You invited me. I
did invite you. Yeah, we wanted your support.
You know what? I like the way you said it. Ron, you're part of the family, man. Yeah. You're partially a Sudanese already.
Like it or not.
So I like the invite was good. Yeah. But I had already had the Zimbabwe Independence Day
event
going
as well.
on. How was that Ross one? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely amazing. Just seeing all the artists come together, it was so mind-blowing. I enjoyed it. And I even told Kush, her name's Kush Young, the founder of Ross. I even told her, I think 2 hours wasn't enough.
Oh, I saw you. It
could have been more.
Event.
It was a 2-hour event, but it was so good that, it would have been great.
So how often do you think they will do this event? Or whenever they feel like?
I think it's once a year.
Once a year?
I'm not quite sure. Yeah. I think it's once a year, but because of COVID, obviously the last it was difficult. But she's done a really great job.
With what you saw, do you feel like it has to go like 4 times a year?
I think it could go twice a year or 3 times a year. It was so good. Just seeing everybody come together. There's a lot of young women in my community that I saw on the night doing poetry and poems.
Right. Beautiful.
And I was like, wow, the community is actually up to some really good stuff, and that's what we need. Yeah.
The last one?
The lucky last. Recently, I had the opportunity to be the MC at an event which was called Empowering of Positive Focus and Achievements. So with that event, we had cultural dance, so the Sudanese cultural dance. We had different age groups joining that cultural dance. We had the opportunity to invite some people within different sectors to come and present their stuff as well. And what was the most beautiful achievement that night was the fact that we're able to hand out certificates of achievements to young people within the South Sudanese community.
It gives them motivation.
It gives a lot of empowering
confidence,
empowerment.
And
that's
like
it.
You're saying.
Yeah. And it's so important, which was really beautiful. And I was so lucky to be a part of that.
How did you become a part of it?
I got in contact with one of the community leaders.
Seeing it as a good project.
Yeah, seeing it as a good community. And you know what else too? I only decided to get involved because his name's Jaffa. He's very consistent.
Didn't you have Jaffa
I did. I bring Jaffa. He was on one of the episodes.
I watch all of your episodes.
Yeah.
People should go watch the Voices of
South Sudanese women, that's for sure. But yeah, Jaffa is just very consistent when it comes to helping the community. And I think we have that in common. So I decided to actually be a part of that and help him as well whenever my help is needed.
All right,
which
beautiful.
Is good. Yeah.
Do you get any financial incentives in what you do, man, or it's just the love?
Not at all. I really love helping. I'm very passionate.
It's not about the money. Because some people go like, time is money.
Yeah, and money is time.
Show me the money, I'll come.
When you think about it,
then you go like, but it's a community service. You want to help out.
Yeah. And you know, with anything that's to do with materialistic possessions, it doesn't last. So
for sure,
I just love helping people in general, especially the community, and being able to move to a better era. I think that's important. Yeah, moving towards
be the trans-setters, or what do they call it? Trans-setters. You're setting
transcenders.
You're setting the way.
Yeah.
You're like the ones, the leaders.
Pretty much.
Because what you're doing is unique.
Very.
And I respect what you do.
Thank you.
You know, and I understand the time you take to prepare, the time to go there and put all the energy and stuff like that is very important.
It is.
What you're doing in the community.
Absolutely.
How has COVID affected you? Socially, financially, everything else?
To be honest, it did affect me. And I think it was only the only reason for that was the fact that I was so restricted into going places,
All right.
But I felt like with COVID, it was such a good time to just take time out to myself and figure out my path and my journey, and also reflect on
yourself,
on myself as an individual.
Okay, who am I?
As a person.
Who is Lizzie?
Yeah, as a person.
Wow. So it had benefits, even if it had a little bit of
there's negatives and positives for me with COVID, but yeah.
Beautiful. It seems as if there are some troubled youths who are finding it difficult to navigate themselves through life challenges, leading them to commit all sorts of criminal activities. What do you think is the cause of this, Nyiyen?
I think the cause of this would be loss of identity. Many of these young people aren't really sure what or who they are. And the reason why I'm saying that is because many of them, when you just take the time to observe them, you can tell that along the way, they've lost hope and they've lost faith, which resulted in them losing themselves individually. So for me, I would say that the cause of this is not just loss of identity as well, but lack of love, lack of support, lack of understanding within the South Sudanese community. As a young person, when you're growing up, and when you're growing up, you really need all the support.
And also, you've got two different cultures.
They have to balance.
They collide. So
absolutely,
you can't identify yourself as an Australian culture or Sudanese, because Sudanese culture will be telling you this one's Australian culture, will be telling you stuff like that, different stuff. So it's all about merging the two cultures together.
And it's difficult.
Let me ask you the question: what should be done to help these young youth, and also what should be done to prevent the young youths, from getting themselves into these troubles?
You know what should be done? I think the community, and I always say this, the community leaders really need to understand that there is a problem within the South Sudanese community.
At the moment, they don't.
They don't. And with everything that has been
what's
happening,
going on the ground.
No, and I don't know if it's the difference between our generation and their generation, but there's a misunderstanding along the way, and I feel that a lot of them, they really need to sit down and just talk about what it is that we can do. What these kids need is love. They need someone that is able to put themselves in their shoes and understand what it is that they're going through in their own world.
Yeah, so in a way, the community leaders are too old to understand, and the young ones who can access the community leaders feel like they can't access them because they're not being listened to.
There's a big gap, and you've just said it perfectly, Ronald. Yes, the community leaders, like I said, there's a big gap.
So what should be done
between our leaders and the youth
to build the bridge?
I think, I don't know what it's going to take to bring the community leaders into one place and get young people to actually talk to them.
Because they have their own differences as well.
They do. And I think when it comes to these young people actually going up to a community leader and expressing themselves and their emotions, that's fear itself, because they fear that they might not be understood.
And stereotyped.
So what needs to be done?
You're Nuar.
Yeah.
You're a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a Dinka. Damn.
You're a problem. Yeah, not realizing that tribalism is not going to take us anywhere at all. Because when you think about it, at the end of the day, we are all a collective. The best way to do things is by actually coming together. Right? Rather than being separate. But I think one of the biggest issues is the fact that there's a lack of understanding when it comes to our community leaders.
But I like
there's lack of role models as well.
But I like the young adults like yourself who are bringing everyone together.
We are trying.
The older ones, older than you, a little bit older, like your mom's age and older. Them ones are the ones who are like a little bit different. These ones who are growing up together, they don't mind whether you're Dinka, you're Nuer or whatever.
Yeah.
They just listen to their parents, and stuff like that. But as time goes, you have people who are like you, who are really focused on bringing the community together. So the future is bright.
Like they always say, there's always light at the end of the tunnel, isn't there? So the future is looking bright, and I have no doubt that there will come a time where we will be able to actually sort out everything that's happening at the moment. Because as you are aware, most of the things we talk about is in regards to mental health, suicide rates and stuff.
Yeah, I was going to go into there. Man, talking about mental health has ravaged through the entire of the Sudanese community and leading to a lot of suicides, family violence. Any idea what's causing this? It's just the same problems, yeah?
No.
What's causing mental health issues to be so vast in a small community?
Many of us have really got ourselves into things we shouldn't got ourselves into in the first place. One of those is drug and alcohol.
All right.
Where there's drugs, there's a huge problem. Where there's alcohol, there's a huge problem. A lot of us, and I'm talking about us from multicultural backgrounds.
Yes, sir.
We do not navigate.
I'm using to say yes, sir. Sorry.
Yeah. It's still recording, eh?
Yeah.
Many of us within the multicultural background, we do not take the time to educate ourselves around the different types of substances that are out there. And I feel like many of us are too deep into drugs were too deep into drinking alcohol.
Is it to take the stress out of what you're experiencing in life?
I think it's to fill the void, to ignore whatever it is that is bothering
Culture
you
different,
inside.
new country, new everything new. You're going to work all the time. You don't see your kids. If you're a kid, you don't see your parents and stuff like that.
It's stress.
And everything else, and stereotyping
As well.
of black people as well. Like, they're troublesome anyway.
Yeah.
And just that
knowing
fear.
that everywhere you go,
You're
pretty
looked
much
at like,
you're not safe.
okay,
You're looked at like you're
funny,
and you're out of this world. It's like you're not even a part of humanity, you know. Which a lot of young people, they can't even go to the shops.
So all that
normally
leads to a little bit of
all that
mental
leads
health.
to let me go have a drink and
just
ease
relax,
ease the pain. You know, so it's to fill the void inside. But what I've realized, because I was once a young person as well, you fill that void with alcohol for about, let's say, a good hour. You can do it for a couple of hours. But as soon as it leaves the system, you're back to square one. And I
then
think
what?
That's when you really decide to go deep within and realize that everything is internal. Nothing's external.
So what do you think should be done to reduce these numbers of people who are suffering from mental health issue in your community?
I think many of us, South Sudanese, I think many of us need to really start accessing those supports and services, and really take the time to look after yourself. Make sure that you're in a positive mental state of mind, making sure that you're at peace. But
for any change to happen, it has to be you.
It has to begin with you internally. It's all
within. You
within.
can't wait for someone to
It's all within. No, you can't.
You
not
have to
even your
fight the
own
war
mother,
within
not even
yourself.
your own father. And that's why, what you just
And
mentioned
accept.
is so important. The war within, only you can actually put it to rest. And the only way that you're able to do that is by connecting with those that are on the same frequency as you.
And also, I want to say something. And also, I think I don't know who should provide resources that are adequate to certain type of people. You know what I mean? Because sometimes if you have a resource center that with other Africans that understand African problems, they will deal with it better.
Absolutely.
Because
I agree with
sometimes,
you.
but some people won't understand that. But sometimes it's difficult to have, a European problem and you want to fix an African problem.
It doesn't work. And I think that's why our mental health is declining a lot. I think that's one of the reasons, because what I've realized is that a lot of young people are actually scared. As much as we're encouraging them to go and access supports and services, deep down, they're scared that they might get worse.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Man, apart from your podcast, let's get it easy. And
That was
deep. That was a little bit deep. And I like deep.
Me too.
Man.
I don't like small talk.
Yeah,
Nah.
small talk is cheap.
It's boring and cheap.
Apart from podcasts, community events and projects, are you looking after yourself personally?
I am.
You look like you're looking after yourself.
I've come a long way. I love it because I'm that type of person that thinks that it's very important to feel good within yourself, so that you may be able to bring out nothing but love, light, and positivity into the world.
What does Nyiyen do? Or during your spare time? Like gym, medication.
Oh wow!
Reading books.
I
outdoors.
was really into before COVID happened. I was really into meditation and yoga.
Why?
And I'd spend at least one day a week just doing meditation and yoga. I still try to go, but it's not working out with my schedule and everything. So during my personal time, you'll find me either at the gym, either reading a book or watching a nice movie.
All right.
With some candles on the side.
All right. How about nightlife? Do you check yourself for dinner?
Oh, absolutely.
And do you go out?
For sure.
The clubs are open and stuff like that. Just feel free.
I love to balance life, so I like to have a good time, but I also like to
busy
be
with
serious.
work, busy with community work.
Yeah, but it's a
busy,
balance.
Yeah, it's a balance.
I 10% here, 10% there. I do enjoy going out. So if I've had a long week, the best I can do is take myself out or get a couple of friends. We'll go have a nice dinner.
Beautiful.
Other times, yes, we do love to enjoy ourselves and have a good nightlife. Yeah. Which is beautiful. I come back home and I'm like, oh, I'm getting too old for this.
All right. So with your calendar, what's your calendar like? What should people be watching for? I mean, projects and events and anything coming out soon and stuff?
I am hoping to organise an event as well for the Voices of South Sudanese Women.
Wow.
Hopefully...
Women only or men too?
Oh, you guys can come along and watch us do our thing. Yeah. But I'm hoping to bring everyone together, especially the women that came into the studio to provide their perspective on the issues. So that's something that I need to organise and hopefully it turns out to be a really good event.
Beautiful. Let me
where
know
I
so
can
that,
get other people to talk as well. So not just only me, but get people to come talk and just share their stories, and I will let you know. Another one that I'm looking forward to is inviting a couple more people into the studio. So,
beautiful.
To talk about
variety of issues.
That's it. That's it. But I'm looking forward towards the end of the year and seeing what.
You're still on episode 2.
Oh, so I know.
You still have
I still got ages. I'm looking forward to it.
And I can't wait.
I can't wait to see.
Yeah, that's the next question I was going to ask you. So when are we supposed to expect the next podcast?
This week. I'm hoping this week on Wednesday.
What's the name of a podcast again?
The Voices of South Sudanese Women.
Beautiful.
Yeah, TVOSSW.
Just to make sure. How can people contact you? The best way to contact you?
Absolutely. So people can actually go on Facebook if you get time. Please go on Facebook and type in TVOSSW. It's called The Voices of South Sudanese Women, and you can also find it on YouTube and Instagram.
What do you want to say to anyone watching and listening to us at the moment? I think anything motivational, just anything you want to say.
Like my words of encouragement or empowerment would be that if you are an individual that has always thought of stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something that might benefit you in the long run, don't ever be scared, never fear anything, and just know that it is very important to focus on yourself on a deeper level. It's important to know who you are in general, and just make sure that you are doing everything within your power to do what makes you happy or what makes you unique.
Nyiyen, it's great pleasure to have you in the studio, and thank you for visiting us. Hope you're visiting us sometime soon in the future.
Absolutely.
Or if you have something coming up, we can have an interview about something
that as well.
So that we can advertise it that way, and the people would know what it is about it.
Yeah.
This is the Pondro Show, and thank you for taking your time to be with us. And hope I see you sometime soon. Nyiyen, thank you.
Thank you, Ronald. I appreciate it. Thank you, our viewers. Appreciate
Beautiful.
it. Yeah. All right.
Nice.
Beautiful.